Coming up on the Q, leaders from different faith communities discuss the impact of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout. Time now for the Q, an opportunity to hear different points of view on the news issue of the day. So how are religious communities responding to the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine? To give us some perspective, I'm joined by Rabbi Jordan Cohen and Raheel Raza. Thank you both for joining us today.
Pleasure.
So let's start here. Does your religion influence your decision on if you will get vaccinated, Raheel? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't look to religion when it's something that has to do with science, although I am a practicing observant Muslim. But my religion, if I did look at it, tells me that when there is a need for life or death, you go with what is important for your health. However, I have to tell you that when there's something new like this, there are always, people who are, I would say, off the bat in terms of religiosity. So in Pakistan, the country I come from, there were all sorts of rumors flying that the vaccine contains pig fat, and Muslims don't eat pig fat, and that it would make people sterile, and that it was injecting live animal DNA into people. So there has been a huge, massive, wrong information campaign. So in these countries, I would say third world countries, there have to be two campaigns. One, an education campaign to tell people what it is, and then to introduce the vaccine. I mean, Pakistan is one of the few countries in the world where still has polio, because again, there were rumors about it, and the people who were there giving the polio shots, they were shot and killed, because it was considered that they were doing something wrong. And this was all, by the way, through religious fanaticism.
Yeah, a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, a lot of misinformation. So it's important as people of faith to separate this kind of controversy and, all sorts of these issues that come out of nowhere, to separate that from the real stuff. Life is important. We have to preserve life. And if there is medicine and science, we need to make the best use of it.
Yeah. Rabbi Cohen, what does your faith say about getting vaccinated?
For our tradition, it's a non-debated issue. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it fits into every single major Jewish value, which talks about the primacy of life, the saving of life, not only the health and well-being of ourselves, which is a religious imperative. You can't serve God if you are sick or ill, but also caring for others in the community, which is a major value. So, we don't make a distinction between science and faith, or science and religion. I mean, science is a tool, a means that God uses to provide healing to the people. So even within our community, under the most traditional or fundamentalist sects within our Jewish community, everybody is pretty united that using the vaccine to maintain personal and communal health is a actual religious imperative. And so high is this value that even if getting vaccinated violates some of the other religious principles, especially something like the Sabbath. If a vaccine is available to you only to be administered on the Sabbath, it is so important that you do so, that it's actually permissible to violate the Sabbath in order to get the vaccine.
Raheel had alluded to some of the misinformation that's happening in certain communities. Have you seen that, Rabbi Cohen? Have you had to talk to maybe parishioners, people in your community, about fear of the vaccine or just not enough information?
Within my own sphere of the community, not really. I come from the liberal end of the tradition, and there's really been no debate or discussion. I mean, any discussion around the vaccine in our community is, why is it not being administered faster? Why isn't it being available faster? But even in the more traditional aspects of the community, where there's issues around closures and not being able to gather, that's an issue. But the vaccine itself is not a debated issue.
All right. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for being part of the Q today. Again, Raheel Raza and Rabbi Jordan Cohen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Maggie.